my children! Last year, we took a look at the first issue of the short-lived Skeleton Hand anthology. So, let's look at some more! What? Sometimes I don't have anything else to really add. It's a horror anthology. We're looking at it. Be excited! Let us begin with The Whale Serpent of Karnak. And it's a rather terrible story, my children. It begins with a narration talking about how snakes are loathsome creatures, only lovable by those who worship the dark arts. Oh, being such a jerk! You're gonna make Jerry and Sylvia back here cry! Ah, but the unlikable nature of this story does not end there. 2 reporters are being sent to Egypt to try to infiltrate a cult that worships a monstrous stone serpent in the ruins of Karnak. Since foreigners are not allowed, the 2 have to try to pose as Egyptians wearing native garb and brown face. And with that, I'm rooting for the Whale Serpent. Although, to be fair, I was going to root for it anyway. They're also equipped with a hidden ring with a hypodermic needle inside that will counteract snake venom, since the cult regularly does snake handling. Once there, the stone serpent awakens and opens its mouth, revealing a mummy named Seta. Again, more reason to be on the snake cult side. Who unbandages herself and reveals their plans for world domination, to transform all humans on Earth into snakes. The cult begins to change, but of course the reporters aren't part of the cult. Seta sees them and tries to use her snake bite to transform them, but the anti-venom in their rings protects them from it. While Seta ponders how this could be, the male reporter thinks that the silver nitrate and hypochlorites in their photo-developing kit can act as a snakebite cure, and in turn, they can use it to destroy Seta. And as he says, silver nitrate is used for snakebite cases, so it must be safe to inject it into himself. These people are idiots and should be dead at their own hands. Or at the were-snakes. Or just in general. As such, when Seta tries to bite him again, she instead consumes the silver nitrate and dies, the cult reverting to normal and now worshipping the 2 horrible white people, who tell them to disband and never form cults again. And then hopefully in a bit of irony they accidentally strangle themselves with snakeskin clothing or something. At least that's how I'm going to imagine this actually ended. Next up is The Bat and the Brain. Barbara goes to visit her boyfriend, Don, a scientist who has made some incredible devices. He's made a robotic bat that looks like the real thing, but he can control it using his own brainwaves. While he continues to experiment with it, it seems it's getting harder to control. On the one night, Barbara sees a strange, skeletal figure with demonic wings arrive at the house. A vampire who proclaims that the electronic bat will be useful to it in hunting fresh prey. At first, Dawn doesn't believe it, but he does admit the difficulties he's been having with controlling the robot bat. When the vampire returns and declares that he now controls the robot bat with his own powerful mind, Dawn sees it head on and throws a silver knife right into it, dispelling the vampire and saving Barbara. Sad for the cool vampire, but hey, robot bat is still intact, so we'll call it a draw. Then we have Tomb of the Unholy Dead. Once again, we're in Egypt, but it is a much better outing than the first time. Photographer Ted Johnson wants to get some panoramic views of Cairo from the top of an ancient tomb. His guide warns him, however, that this is the tomb of the unholy dead, and to not take anything from it, lest he be struck down by a curse. And of course, like an idiot, he finds a strange idol on top of the tomb and takes it for himself before deciding to have a look around. A beautiful woman emerges from a sarcophagus, embraces him, and then vanishes. Later, he gets a message from the woman named Mazra at his hotel desk, inviting him to come see her dance at a club. After doing some research on the tomb and the woman he saw in it, he realizes that meeting with this Mazra woman would be a mistake, instead deciding to tail her back to the temple to try to confirm his suspicions. And indeed she does so, overhearing her speak to other evil spirits in sarcophagi about her plan to corrupt Ted and take the idol from him, since it's the only thing that can prevent their escape. She also reveals that her image of beauty is a falsehood, that her body has withered away from 2,000 years in the tomb. Personally, I think she looks prettier like this. Ted tries to confront her with the idol, but realizes he left it back at his hotel. Mazra places a curse on him while she goes to retrieve the idol, making his body weaken and age rapidly until he reaches it again. He just barely manages to reach it before Mazra, and he uses its magic to dispel her, allowing him to go and return the idol to its rightful place. And finally, we have another true ghost story. In it, a woman talks about a ghost appearing to her and her husband after they bought a farm, beckoning them to a shallow grave. Once they dug up the corpse, it was revealed to be the missing brother of the man who sold them the farm, who later confessed to the police that he had murdered him. It would have been better if the ghost had cursed them or been a vampire or something. Well, Skeleton Hand number 2 begins with a rather fetid and awful tale. It makes up for it with 2 other glorious horror stories. And there are still a few more issues to cover, with hopefully less racist ones in them.